If you're looking for an affordable camera that takes incredible 4K footage that will blow your mind, the Panasonic G7 might just be for you.
We're going to keep this review simple and show you example video clips and photos taken with this camera, and we'll also give you our opinion on the matter.
Let's do it! Ooh. Welcome to Bros Review.
Let's dive right in and show you guys some example video using this camera. Oh wait, this is a camera that we use to film our videos. And look how dang crispy this camera is. Let's zoom in to my face.
No, my face.
No, my face.
My face.
Okay, his face. This is crispy, even at like 400, 500%. Remember, this is 4 times the resolution of HD video. It's incredible. Now let's look at some other example footage. The 4K footage on this camera really impresses me, and it's a huge upgrade from my Canon DSLR. Now, not only is it nice having crispy footage that you can zoom into, but one of the cool things about being able to zoom into it is you can crop later if your crop was wrong. You can do some slow panning, you can do some slow digital zoom, all that in post, so it just opens up a lot of opportunities.
This camera goes all the way up to 6400 ISO, and it handles high ISO incredibly. We were so impressed. Check out these low light shots compared to the Canon Rebel T6i.
As you can tell, there's very little noise, which is really impressive. At higher ISOs like 3200 and 6400, I did notice that the footage starts to get softer and less crisp. It also doesn't handle color rendition as well at higher ISOs, but it's still completely usable in my opinion. An example of this camera pushed to its limits, max ISO, slow shutter speed, maximum open aperture, was when we did our laser tag video. This thing was a champ. I couldn't believe it could film in such a dark situation where the only light was black lights. Granted, this footage isn't amazing, but it's completely usable.
This camera also has continuous autofocus in video mode, which is a pretty awesome feature, and we're really glad they included it. It works pretty well in situations like this where the camera is stationary and the lens is zoomed out all the way. It doesn't work very well in run and gun shooting situations where there's a lot of movement or the lens is zoomed in all the way. It just takes too long to focus.
This camera is chock full of really useful video features, including zebras, focus peaking, a histogram, exposure meter, audio level monitoring, and it also has digital image stabilization and an on-screen level to help level your camera shots. If you don't know what any of those features are, please look them up because they're so useful and they've been actually way more useful than we expected. For example, that on-screen leveler I used the other day to dial in my Steadicam, and it really helped me to get perfect smooth shots.
As a side note, this camera can film continuously for 30 minutes at a time, and it breaks it up into 6-minute sections. Now let's talk about photos.
Here are some example photos we took with this camera. We used a strobe and Josh as our talent. As you can tell, it takes okay pictures, especially when they're edited. You can get them to look pretty decent. But overall, I haven't been real impressed with the sharpness, the color rendition, or the ergonomics of using this camera. If you're looking for an affordable camera specifically for taking pictures, I would recommend you get a Canon or Nikon DSLR. I think they just have way better image quality and ergonomics for photos in the same price point.
Cameras with audio in jacks are notorious for having a nasty hiss in the background due to their bad preamps.
It sounds like this.
However, if you manually set the audio in level on this camera to about -12 decibels, the hiss is actually pretty manageable.
We actually use the audio in jack on this camera whenever we film these videos, and I think it sounds pretty good. You can be the judge of that listening to it on your computer. Now, when I'm doing professional projects, I don't use the audio in jack. I actually use an external audio device, and I would probably recommend that to you as well. Another thing I like about the audio on this camera is it has an amazingly well done feature called an audio limiter. Basically, whenever your microphone or input levels are too loud, it automatically brings the audio levels down to help prevent the camera from clipping. It works really well, and it's an awesome feature to have.
This camera also has a swivel screen, which opens up a lot of different opportunities, and it works really well in vlog-like situations.
We use a swivel screen every day.
It also happens to be a touchscreen, which is awesome, and it works pretty well most of the time.
Now this also has an HDMI out, which is a cool feature, but I don't think it was executed very well. It's a tiny little HDMI out port that feels like it's going to break and doesn't work half the time. And when it's going to your external monitor, the monitor on your camera doesn't work. And the external monitor only works when you're not filming, but as soon as you start filming, it stops sending a signal to that monitor, which makes it almost useless, so that's a sad.
This camera also features custom function buttons. It has 5 of them plus 2 dials that you can basically program to do whatever you want.
Which is really awesome! I like that feature so much. Next, it has built-in time-lapse, which again is sweet. A lot of my cameras don't have built-in time-lapse. I have to buy an external trigger to do that, which is so silly. Thank you, Panasonic, for including it in this camera. This camera also has Wi-Fi, which is sweet. Just download the app onto your phone and you're ready to rock and roll. You can record from your phone, you can see what the camera's seeing from your phone, you can change settings like aperture, ISO, all that. You can even change manual focus. Super sweet to have. Also, I've used other cameras and other camera apps, and I liked this one over those because this allows you to use your camera and your phone at the same time, where those apps you could only switch in between them, which is a pain, especially when you have to keep repairing to your phone over and over again.
In summary, this is a great 4K camera, and it's really cheap at only $600 for the camera and a lens. It's mind-boggling.
But if you're looking for a dedicated photo camera, I would not recommend this. Like I said, I'd recommend like a Canon or Nikon DSLR. But man, this thing is sweet. Remember to come back next Monday when we review something new.
And subscribe to keep up to date on all our latest content.
We hope this review helped.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Hey, guys. It's just me. Had a little bit of a nasty accident. Isaiah's dead. I'm now just ahead. So, enjoy.
That was amazing.